But whereas in India, though it was there, but it was minimal, and that ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti. That idea is very common and it has entered into the veins of the Indians, and that has to be taught again to the public, to the West also, to everyone. And one or two points are there. This is the whole summary of the last three pages. If you want to discuss, or you want to go in detail, or you want to go into next lecture.
No, we are always in favor of the detailed study. So, but whatever you think, if you think that there is
Okay then.
nothing to
Yeah.
discuss.
If you are serious and if you want to go detail, fine. Then yeah.
So, you will start with the chanting, Maharaj.
Mhm. Yeah. Om भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः विषेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे. Yeah, some of you can read now.
Okay, I am reading. So, we are starting from page number 12. And above all, what India has to give to the world is this. If we watch the growth and development of religions in different races, we shall always find this, that each tribe at the beginning has a god of its own. If the tribes are allied to each other, these gods will have a generic name, as for example, all the Babylonians' gods had. When the Babylonians were divided into many races, they had the generic name of Baal, just as the Jewish races had different gods with the common name of Moloch. And at the same time, you will find that one of these tribes becomes superior to the rest and lays claim to its own king as the king over all. Therefrom, it naturally follows that it also therefrom it naturally follows that it also wants to preserve its own god as the god of all the races. Baal Merodach said the Babylonians was the greatest god, all the others were inferior. Moloch, Yahweh, was the superior over all the Molochs, and these questions had to be decided by the fortunes of battle. The same struggle was here also. In India, the same competing gods had been struggling with each other for supremacy, but the great good fortune of this country and of the world was that there came out in the midst of the din and confusion a voice which declared Ekang sad vipra bahudha vadanti. That which exists is one, sages call it by various names. It is not that Shiva is superior to Vishnu, not that Vishnu is everything and Shiva is nothing, but it is the same one whom you call either Shiva or Vishnu or by 100 other names. The names are different, but it is the same one. The whole history of India you may read in these few words. The whole history has been a repetition in massive language with tremendous power of that one central doctrine. It was repeated in the land till it had entered into the blood of the nation, till it began to tingle with every drop of the blood that flowed in its veins, till it became one with the life, part and parcel of the material of which it was composed, and thus the land was transmuted into the most wonderful land of toleration, giving the right to welcome the various religions as well as all sects into the old mother country. Shall I continue?
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So here Swamiji is telling very clearly that there was a constant fight between the tribals, like my God is superior. So whichever tribe is to win, so their God is to be superior, and other tribals who got defeated in the war or a battle, they had to follow that tribal God, which tribe got, what do you say, won the war. So whichever the tribe won the war, so all other tribes had to follow them, and not only that, the tribe which won, so their God became a supreme over others. So that was constantly, if you see in the Middle East, that is quite possible, quite it was true. And also if you see in the West overall, it was also true in the medieval ages and before medieval ages. And even in pre-Vedic period, in India also, these type of battles have been seen. And even if you see very subtly in Vedic times, or in Puranas also we can see sometimes, like there is a fight between Indra and Varuna, or Varuna and Agni, or Agni and Indra, and Brihaspati for an example. So there were some drifts. So I wanted to become a supreme, just like a king wanted to become a supreme. Similarly, these gods and goddesses wanted to become supreme. Such type of a fight is also witnessed pre-Vedic times and at the initial part of the Vedic times, even in India. That's what Swamiji is telling. But in the western part of the society, at the broad canvas, it continued. Whereas in India, when we advanced in our thinking, when our philosophical thought process got refined, then we were told from our rishis that ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti. The truth is one, but Vipra means the known people, the wise people, the experienced people, the experiencer of truth, have told that the truth is one. We call it by different names. So this has become, it slowly it percolated our Indian culture so much so that it became the part and parcel of our life. It became the important idea in our culture. Now, how to understand? For an example, if you see in the middle age, between 10 to or 8 to 18, more or less, or 8 to 15 or 16th century, if you see, around 10th centuries, there was a constant fight between the Christians and the Muslims to take the Jerusalem. Because they wanted, Jerusalem is the important place, pilgrimage place for three religions, Semitic religions, all the Semitic religions. One is Jews, the other is Christians, and the other is Muslims. Now, Jews were thrown out, or Jews had left their promised land, that is Palestine or Jerusalem, present day Jerusalem. So there, and also Christ had got vision, and Muhammad also had got a vision from the angel, and etc. As a result, to have the Jerusalem in their hand, there was a 10 years of constant fight. Okay, that's the one thing we see. And if you see, for an example, yesterday itself I was discussing here with one monk that Syria, if you see in the early part of this century, or the like 2nd century AD or 3 or 4th century AD and all, the Syria, for an example, it was full of Christians. And even Saint Paul taught Christianity, preached Christianity in the Syria. In the Syria, the oldest churches, the oldest monasteries were seen. But after the advent of Islam and slowly in 2 or 3 centuries, the whole Syria got converted into or got transformed into majority of Muslims instead of Christians. Same thing was like Egypt and like present day Istanbul, which was known as Constantinople. There was always constant drift, constant struggle between Christians and Muslims to have over the Constantinople. So in the Middle East, if you see, there was a constant fight even between the tribes. Before the advent of Muslim Islam, even there were so many tribes, there was constant drift, constant fights. Even one of the historians says around 300 gods and goddesses they had. They were all idolaters. They used to worship the idols and they used to have different gods and goddesses. They used to fight each other. But once Islam got spread everywhere, then all the idols were removed and all the gods and goddesses were pushed back. Then only Allah became the supreme. Now, similarly, in India also, between Hindus and Christians, or Hindus and Jains, Hindus and Buddhists, and, and among Hindus itself, like for an example, the followers of Shiva and Vishnu especially, there were some fights have happened in India also. That's what Swami has told. But it was very minimal, and with the God's grace, or with our forefathers' intelligence, when they gave Ekam Sat Vipra Boda Vadanti, slowly it percolated India. As a result, the religious conflict, the religious wars were minimal in India. And thank God for this great philosophical truth that is Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadam. And that has to be taught again once more to the world. We have already taught this twice. This again, now this is the right time to teach the whole world this idea the third time. That's what Swami is telling. Why? Because they are trying to tolerate, but we are accepting it. They are preaching the toleration and we are preaching the universal acceptance. That is one of the grand idea, very beautiful idea actually. So Swami is telling it is for us to again to preach this great unique idea to the entire world, that not the just toleration, the rather it is universal acceptance. This is what this idea has been given by Swamiji. And apart from that, if you see, even in the name of religion, a lot of conflicts had happened and they were very dogmatic. But whereas in India, though ritualistic people we had no doubt, but at the same time, there was a lot of liberty, lot of freedom. One side there was Charvaka philosophy, the other side we had Advaita philosophy. Both were together. I mean, that freedom was there. That's what Swamiji is telling that. Yeah. So any questions you have got?
No, I think nobody is asking.
And probably I can give 1 or 2 examples. Even Ranakpur, if you have visited Rajasthan, I don't know how many of you visited Rajasthan. In Ranakpur, there's a beautiful temple, which is a Jain temple.
Jain temple, Maharaj?
Yes, it is a Jain temple. Okay, but funded by Hindu king called Rana. Okay, one example. Even for an example, Ajanta, Ellora, all of us we know. Every one of us might have visited. Ajanta, which is a Buddhist caves, we all of us know. So, but that was supported by Hindu king named Harisena, who was by Brahmin by birth, and is from Vataka dynasty, basically. He supported Buddhists to carve or to do the painting, Buddhist paintings. So harmony of religions was quite good. And even if you see Dilwada temples in Rajasthan also, there also. So the king and the ministers were Hindus and as well as Jains. And also if you see in the 8th or 9th century, there's an old mosque in Kerala. Because we had a sea trade route with Arabs. That's how our mathematics, numerals went to Arab, that 0 to 9, and that it went to Europe through Arab countries, and that's why it became Arabic numerals. But actually 0 to 9 has been invented by Indians. That's fine. That's how it became Arabic numerals, but actually it is Indian numerals. Fine. Now, in the 8th, 9th century itself, there is an old mosque built in Kerala. So, this is what universal acceptance we mean. So, because there were Arabs who used to come to for what you say business, and sometimes here and there they have stayed, and there was a matrimonial connections also sometimes. So, when they stayed back, some of them they wanted to pray. So, the Kerala king, being a Hindu, he gave a free land for them to build their mosque and to conduct their prayers. And similarly, we can see Jews. Jews also have their old temple, old worship place in southern part of India as well as the western part of India. Now, when the temples were shattered by the Romans, especially afterwards, again and again it was Romans attacked, and again some other tribe they attacked. As a result, they had to leave. They had to flee away from the present Israel or Jerusalem. Then they went to Europe, and they came to India. They went to different parts. So many places the children were put into slaves, and the women were raped, and very bad time they had. Whereas when they came to India, they were welcomed. The place was given for them to stay. Not only that, the religious freedom was given for them to build their own temples, or the worship place, and to continue their worship. Whereas if you see in any other countries where they practice Semitic religions, till last 1 or 2 centuries before, you can't find any other religious temples, for example. Maybe 100 or 150 years before, in any Islam country or Christian country, you don't find any Hindu temple, for an example. Whereas here, the total number of masjids are much more greater than all the Muslim countries put together, probably in India. Similarly, with the church. So that Ekam Sat Vipra Bauda Vadanti has been gone into our veins. And there's a great grand idea. It has to be taught to the world again once more. Yeah.
And herein is the explanation of the most remarkable phenomena that is only witnessed here. All the various sects apparently hopelessly contradictory, yet living in such harmony. You may be a dualist and I may be a monist. You may believe that you are the eternal servant of God, and I may declare that I am one with God himself, yet both of us are good Hindus. How is that possible? Read then, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. That which exists is one, sages call it by various names. Above all others, my countrymen, this is the one grand truth that we have to teach to the world. Even the most educated people of other countries turn up their noses at an angle of 45 degrees and call our religion idolatry. I have seen that, and they never stop to think what a mass of superstition there was in their own heads. It is still so everywhere. This tremendous sectarianism, the low narrowness of the mind. The thing which a man has is the only thing worth having. The only life worth living is his own little life of dollar worship and mammon worship. The only little possession worth having is his own property and nothing else. If he can manufacture a little clay nonsense or invent a machine, that is to be admired beyond the greatest possessions. That is the case over the whole world in spite of education and learning. But education has yet to be in the world, and civilization. Civilization has begun nowhere yet. 99.9% of the human race are more or less savages even now. We may read of these things in books, and we hear of toleration in religion and all that, but very little of it is there yet in the world. Take my experience for that. 99% do not even think of it. There is tremendous religious persecution yet in every country in which I have been, and the same old objections are raised against learning anything new. The little toleration that is in the world, the little sympathy that is yet in the world for religious thought is particularly is practically here in the land of the Aryas and nowhere else. It is here that Indians build temples for Mohammedans and Christians, nowhere else. If you go to other countries and ask Mohammedans or people of other religions to build a temple for you, see how they will help. They will instead try to break down your temple and you too if they can. The one great lesson therefore that the world wants most, that the world has yet to learn from India, is the idea not only of toleration but of sympathy. Well, well has it been said in the Mohimna Stotra, as the different rivers taking their start from different mountains, running straight or crooked, at last come unto the ocean, so, O Shiva, the different paths which men take through different tendencies, various though they appear, crooked or straight, all lead unto thee. Though they may take various roads, all are all are on the way. Some may run a little crooked, others may run straight, but at last they will all come unto the Lord the One. Then and then alone is your bhakti of Shiva complete, when you not only see him in the linga, but you see him everywhere. He is the sage, he is the lover of Hari, who sees Hari in everything and in everyone. If you are a real lover of Shiva, you must see him in everything and in everyone. You must see that every worship is given unto him, whatever may be the name or the form, that all knees bending towards the Kaaba or kneeling in a Christian church or in a Buddhist temple are kneeling to him, whether they know it or not, whether they are conscious of it or not, that in whatever name or form they are offered, all the flowers are laid at his feet, for he is the one Lord of all, the one soul of all souls. He knows infinitely better what this world wants than you or I. It is impossible that all difference can cease. It must exist. Without variation, life must cease. It is this clash, the differentiation of thought, that makes for light, for motion, for everything. Differentiation, infinitely contradictory, must remain, but it is not necessary that we should hate each other therefore. It is not necessary therefore that we should fight each other.
Yeah. So very important points Swamiji is telling. So if you see the underlying argument or the Swamiji's thought flow, one thing you have to remember, then it was a British India. So Swamiji is putting very clearly 2-3 points. One is that the salient points are the bright side of the West. He is also putting, because he was there in for 5 years in the Western country and is coming back. So what are the good things there? He's telling. And apart from that, what were their defects? What they lack? That is also been told by Swamiji. Second. Third, Swamiji is assuring the confidence, trying to bring back the confidence of Indians about their own motherland, about their own rituals or the culture or about the religion, about the scriptures. After that, he is also scolding that you fools, you have done these mistakes. So correct yourself. So these are the 4 points which we can see all through the Swami Vivekananda's lectures, especially from Colombo to Almora. Now he is telling that very clearly. So their Semitic religion people or the Western mindset people, they are always blaming the Indians and Hindus as idolaters. Yes, of course, we are idol worshippers, but we are not mere idolaters. So we are using the idol as a medium to reach the God, to reach the ultimate, to reach the Almighty. So the idol is only a medium to reach the idol, to reach the ultimate. And why is it required? Because our forefathers, the rishis, the spiritual scientists, they were well aware that the mind has got a strength as well as limitation, which is name and form. Without name and without form, it cannot think. Now, for an example, you say, oh, there is a truth. Truth is all pervasive and it doesn't have any form. When I say, see, I am using the word truth. I need words to communicate. Name is there. I'm using truth, fine. And it is all pervasive. Again, I'm describing. And it doesn't have any form when I say, consciously or unconsciously, all of our mind, it thinks, all pervasive. How? Maybe like a light, or like a maybe dark, or maybe something which is there like a very gigantic personality or gigantic something which is there everywhere. So some or other, in other way, mind thinks in a forum. So the name and forum through which we have to think. It is our strength and as well as limitations of our mind. So having known our forefathers or rishis, they gave this idol worships, the name and form. Why? Through that, slowly one can reach the God with the formless or nirakara or beyond that. So that is the science of idol worship. So you have to know this. That's one thing. And second thing, Swami is telling, and don't think that we are only idol worships, even other religions also. And he is giving example, like for an example, in Islam religion. Well, they don't have any idols or any idols of gods and goddesses, fine, but they all pray towards standing towards Kaaba. So they are thinking of their Makkah, their pilgrimage place, fine, no problem, and they are thinking the Kaaba and they are praying. Now, Kaaba is a rectangular structure or square structure. That's all fine, but still, in knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, they are praying towards, staying or towards that Kaaba. So Kaaba has become the center of their prayer or center of worship or place of worship. And similarly with the Christians, now they have got a Jesus idol, Mother Mary's idol, and they have got a symbol like a cross, and for like this, and they have got saints idols. So they are also idolaters. Similarly, Buddhists also, they attack a lot of Vedic rituals, Vedic worship, Vedic gods and goddesses. And they said Buddha denied the existence of God. They argued afterwards, but they made Buddha himself as a god. And huge idols of Buddha has been prepared or has been sculpted in India. So Buddha himself became God and idol worship has come. And they all went against the Hindu rituals, Vedic rituals, fine. It had become too much in Indian culture those times. So they negated it, but afterwards what happened? In their own philosophy, in their own religion, they brought a lot of rituals. For example, Mandala Puja and all they do for 41 days. And fine design, fine drawings and all they do. But they've got philosophy to show that there is a momentariness, but they've got a lot of worship. Rituals are involved, puja worships are involved, mantras or you can say prayers are involved in the Pali language. So even in them, lot of worships, very complex worships has been formed in them. Similarly, in the Christian religion also, for example, mass is there, so there should be a pulpit and there should be chair and there should be some cross or the Christ idol and their prayers are there and they will give some prasad or some, they give the sacramental food or sacramental liquid or whatever. In their own way, they are worshipping. So if you see the background of all the religions, so one is God is common, scriptures are common, idols are there in a different form, and symbology. I may still Om, someone may give swastik, someone may give crescent moon with a star, someone give with plus mark, and someone give the Dharma Chakra. So everyone is using symbols as part of their religious worship or as part of their philosophy. So these things are very common with every religion. some aspects are more in some religion, some aspects are less in religion, that's all. So you need not to feel inferior about your own religion or about your culture that Hindus are idolaters. No. We are not idol worshippers, we are worshippers of God through idol. So you need not to feel bad, you need not to feel inferior about your own religion or about your own worship or culture. That is what Swamiji studied. And apart from that, Indian culture or Hindu worships has been full of superstitions. Yes, there are quite a few superstitions were there, and there are quite few superstitions even today we have got in our name of religion, no doubt. But no other religion, no other culture is spared from that. So I'm just telling very clearly. Even in other countries, in other religions, in other culture or society, there are superstitions. That is the part and parcel of the society. So don't think that only you have got and they're all very scientific and rational. It is not so. So that is also one more thing Swamiji is telling. And one more, Swamiji is telling 99% of them are not at culture. He is telling. Why this idea is Swamiji is telling? Because survival of the fittest had become their tagline in the West, more or less. If you see, especially Swamiji when he visited, then a lot of wars had happened. In India also was happening, but in West also a lot of wars have happened between tribes, between countries, between states, or between kings. So survival of the fittest was their more or less. Survival of the fittest was their tagline, but Swamiji says that in India, live and let live. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam maybe. Sarvo vai sukhinas santu sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkha vagbhave. Let us all be free from difficulties. Let us all be free from problems. Let everyone be happy. So this grand idea, of course, it is there in every country, in every religion, no doubt. But that was very prominent in our country. From this angle, so the savages were more there in the other parts than here. From that angle, Swamiji is telling. And there was recently, I was just read a piece of information. I don't know how far it is true. They say the number of crimes in USA is much more than the number of crimes in India put together. So when we think that everything is okay in the other part and all, yes, in many aspects they are good, they are better than Indians, are no doubt. But at the same time, even they have got their own problems, they have got their own crimes and etc. And after telling that, he is telling that religious tolerance, whatever we say, philosophical tolerance or spiritual tolerance, it is much more, in tons it is more in India alone. For example, if you see, even all they follow Christ only, but even Christianity, there are so many sects. Like in Catholics itself, there are so many. Protestants they have got, Anglicans they have got. We have got Church of Ireland here, Church of England is there, Church of Scotland is there, then Orthodox Church is there. So they have got constant drift. They have constant fights among them. So many killing has happened, bloodshed has happened, whatnot. All these things has happened. So the religious tolerance was much more in India. So you have to the sympathy for others was much more in India. Why? Because, for an example, dualism. Already there was a non-dualism called Advaita, which was given by Shankara. After the 2 or 3 centuries afterwards, then Vishishtadvaita came, which is a qualified monoism. So, I mean, people, of course, it is debatable, but from the truth point of view, at least, though all are complementary to each other, they are not contradictory. But if you see, the Advaita is very nearest to the truth, as Swamiji says in one of his lecture, then Vishishtadvaita can be bit behind, and duality, Dvaita philosophy, which is given by Madhva, if you see, that is much more behind. Already the Advaita philosophy was there. Then what was the necessity of other philosophies? Well, there may be people who like other philosophies, so that freedom was given. In spite of having Advaita, we allowed for Vishishtadvaita. In spite of having Advaita and Vishishtadvaita, was allowed. Then Shuddhadvaita came, Nimbarka came, Vallabha came, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, so many acharyas came, and so many schools of philosophies came. And apart from that, when the Upanishads came into existence, then Charvaka philosophy was also there. 2 or 3 different shades of Charvaka philosophy, materialism was there. They allowed that. As a classical philosophy, the student of the classical philosophy, even they studied that. When the Buddhists, when they went against the Vedas, but still our people allowed, okay, you follow your religion. If you feel that there is a truth in your path, in your approach towards the God or truth, fine, you are denying us, that's fine. But if you reach the truth, that is fine. Accept, and we are accepting you, go ahead. And we contributed to them also. But this is, we cannot see in other religions, in other cultures. Or maybe nowadays things are changing, no doubt. That acceptance is coming, but still it is very much less. So that's what Swamiji is telling. So here it is much more prevalent. And he gives the example of Shiva Mahimna Stotra. And even if you see, if you remember, Guru Maharaj tells very clearly, Sri Ramakrishna, that there are some backdoor practices in Tantra, which is not straight door practices, but that's okay. Even if through backdoor practice, if you reach Mother, if you can reach the ultimate truth, then why not allow it? Then why do you criticize Naren, like Sri Ramakrishna tells to Naren and others? So all type of practices were allowed in India. There was a Kashmir Advaitism, there was Tantras here, there were Vaishnava scriptures, and there were Shaiva scriptures. So much religious freedom and spiritual freedom, cultural freedom was there. Like if I worship Shiva, and it is not that I have to hate Krishna or Vishnu. And if I'm worshipping Vishnu, it is not that I should hate Krishna or Shiva or Durga. No. Because I'm a Shakta, following the mother, divine mother, doesn't mean that I should hate Shiva or Krishna. No. We go to Shiva's temple, we go to Vishnu temple, we go to Shakti temple also. There can be here and there packet of people, they may not go other places, but by and large, we go to all different deities. We all worship. Why? Because either you call Rama, you call Shri Krishna, you call Durga, you call Kali, or you call Shiva, or it is all gods. For us, no problem. Even for an example, I have seen some places where when they see even other religious gods, they do namaskars. Why? Okay, God has come in a different form. What is there? So we have got so many gods. One more God comes into for us. We have no problem at all. So that universal acceptance is there very much for us. That's what Swamiji is telling. Yeah.
Therefore, we have again to learn the one central truth that was preached only here in our motherland, and that has to be preached once more from India. Why? Because not only is it in our books, but it runs through every phase of our national literature and is in the national life. Here and here alone is it practiced every day, and every man whose eyes are open can see that it is practiced here and here alone. Thus, we have to teach religion. There are other and higher lessons that India can teach, but they are only for the learned. The lessons of mildness, gentleness, forbearance, toleration, sympathy and brotherhood everyone may learn, whether man, woman or child, learned or unlearned, without respect of race, caste or creed. They call thee by various names, thou art one.
Yeah, Swamiji is making one more interesting thing is regarding the literature, national literature. If you take Ramayana and Mahabharata, there are, I think, 14 to 16 different variations of Ramayana. That's where many times we get confused. So if you see, already Valmiki wrote an authentic life story of Rama and the Ikshvaku family with other things. Now, Tulsidas, when he was writing, he made some differences. Then, for example, Kamba Ramayana is there in Tamil Nadu. They have made some differences. Then we have got a, what do you say, in Bengal itself, there is a one Ramayana. I have heard that name. I'm not able to recall now.
Krittivas.
Krittivas Ramayana. So there is a different. In Awadh language, there is a different. And in Kerala, Malayalam, there is a different language, different version. In Andhra, there is a different version. So if you see in every vernacular language, there is a Ramayana, but there is some changes, factual changes with respect to Ramayana, but still we allowed it. And if you see in other religions, they will not allow. Oh, there's a factual error, no more, and they will burn their books. Like that, so many books have been burnt in other religions, but here it is not so. Similarly, with respect to Mahabharata, which are the two important history books of India, two eyes of Indian culture, we can say, in Mahabharata, For example, if you see southern part itself in Kannada, my mother language, there itself, someone has written like Arjuna is the supreme hero of the whole Mahabharata. So they have written, and in other play, in one more author has written, Bhima is the important. Bhima is the hero of the whole Mahabharata. Actually, he has written. But actually, for all of us, we know Krishna is the hero of the Mahabharata. We think, but now there is Arjuna is the hero of the whole Mahabharata. There is a beautiful kavya, and there is a one more author has written, no, Bhima is the important person. He is something such a wonderful person, saying that he has been written. And there are in a different variations of Ramayana and Manthara. Manthara and Kaikeyi, there is no mistake. Actually, they served the right cause. They did whatever they did, but they have been accused. But actually, because of them only, all the dharma stapana has been happened. Like that, some authors in either in the poetry or in the prose, in the drama or in the poetry, they have discussed. Now you see, and even there are some here and there some small text which space Ravana is such a great personality, and he should be hero, one of our hero like that. So such a what to say drastic differences. Rama is who is Rama? Rama is hero. All this fine. Now Ramana is also hero. Is the greatest devotee. We should follow him, etc., etc. Has been discussed. Even in one of the Ramayana, I think Kamba Ramayana somewhere, he says that like Rama took some lessons. Rama asked Lakshmana to take some lessons from Ravana itself, which is, if you see in any other religions, probably it will be blasphemy. But here it has been allowed, that freedom has been given. Yes, it will have its own cascading effect. It can have its own pros and cons, no doubt. But what Swamiji is telling that there is so much freedom in literature. So that is what important. So the toleration, forbearance, gentleness, mildness, sympathy, brotherhood, and everyone should learn, whether learned or unlearned, irrespective of caste, creed, society, ethnicity. We should learn, and we should also teach. We should also preach by practicing and also by preaching to the entire humankind, so that there will be no conflicts, so we can all live in harmony. That idea is the thread of our country, of our society, of our culture, of our religion. So we should be proud about our country and about our religion. We not to feel inferior about our country. But having said, yes, we have got some problems, we have got some issues. It has to be rectified, it has to be corrected, it has to be improved. That's the reason Swamiji is considered as the father of the Neo India or the modern India. There are few good historians have written a quite few books about this. So that we should keep it in the mind. For example, I think there is a Florence Mission, I think he writes, Vivekananda was in a sense the unconscious prophet of the new Indian nationalism, whose ideology shows the impress of his doctrines. So all these things, when we read deeply, we can understand what Swamiji did for this modern India and how he influenced to get our freedom and all these things. Yeah.
So that is the end of the first lecture.
Yeah.
Now, so then the second lecture, this welcome address is given. So shall I read that?
Okay, welcome address. Do you want to discuss? Is it required?
So whatever you.
I don't think is there anything to be required there. So we can go for Vedanta. There, good points are there. We will discuss in the next class about the philosophical thing. He discusses Swamiji beautifully about the Karma Kanda, Gnana Kanda, soul, yeah, ignorance, tantras, theory of projection, theory of creation, all these things. Swamiji discusses. We will go into that. Yeah. So we will not go for the thing. I mean, what do you say? The welcome address we will not go. Swamiji's address we will discuss there.
Okay.
You got any questions?
Maharaj, I have different question. That is, See, now we are following your these Vedanta lectures and some talks and all. So, we are actually liking it when we are studying it deeply. But means only hearing part, that is okay. But next that manana part and what we should do means after hearing and all, because however means we are, at least I am not in that position that I can realize now that I am Brahman and I am not the body and mind, but I keep on listening the lectures and all, okay, but my position is a bit lower. So, at this stage, from this state, how I can uplift or what I should do?
Okay, there's a good question. It may need bit answer. Let me ask any other questions. Is there any other participants? If not, then I'll come to your question. Any others has got any question with respect to today's class? So no questions. Everyone has understood everything, or they didn't understand anything.
No, Maharaj, when you explain, no, it seems so easy, and we feel that we have understood. Maybe later on we are having some doubts when we look back, but
Yeah. So yes. So okay. You think you are trying to understand, or you are understanding Vedanta to some extent. You are saying that. So what did you understand about the Vedanta? In nutshell, what did you understand about Vedanta?
so I have not, means intellectually I have understood that okay, I am not this body mind complex, I am something more than that, I am Brahman. And
Yes. Okay. So now you how to put into practice. So we should keep on giving the auto suggestion, like that we do the mantra japa, Ishta mantra japa we do, and at the same time we can say that, oh, Ami Thakurer Chele, Ami Mayer Chele. So I am the mother's son, I am Thakur's son, like that. So similarly, whenever you can remember, you can think, you can keep on giving this idea that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the self. I am the self, I am the self. You can keep on thinking, you can keep on giving this suggestion, this idea to your mind. And of course, different type of Vedantic techniques, Vedantic meditation techniques also we have discussed, that also can be practiced. And apart from that, probably I will tell one of my experience you'll be able to understand. I was in training center in Belur Math. Then probably by that time it was 3 months was finished. Then I got a fever. And initially I neglected medicine. I neglected for 2 3 days. Then it increased. And then it was like 101, 102. If you put potol and aloo and keep on my body, then it used to easily get boiled. Such a thing. And, I mean, our Brahmachari brothers helped me, and I became weak in a week or so. In a week, I became a weak. And I mean, brothers also in between, they used to get up night and daytime. And often they used to, because of that so much heat, they used to wipe my body with the wet cloth. So much has happened. Anyhow, 7 10 days they tried here with some medicines and all, didn't happen, and I became so weak. Even getting up had become a bit difficult, for whatever reason. Then I was taken to Seva Pratishthan. Then Seva Pratishthan again, they took 3 4 days to, I mean, to do make investigation, whatever is there. And I think there was some bacterial infection or whatever. Then they started giving a medicine, and that it also took, I think, for a week or two. Uh, I mean, come out from that problem. But in the 10 12 days, how much weakness had been come in for me. If you have seen in Seva Pratishthan in any room from the like dormitory, it will be not even 10 meters to go to toilet. To go to from my, because I was at the extreme end, from there to go to my toilet, probably not even 10 meters. To go there, I had to sit 2 times sometimes. Such weakness had come, unfortunately. So now I am sleeping all the time because of the weakness or whatever, and they're giving me food and doing. And even I was trying to read some books, maybe 10 15 minutes or sometimes half an hour. Afterwards, my eyes were automatically used to get closed. I was unable to read for a long time. That was my physical weakness. Then a day or two was over. Then I was thinking, what happened? So much weak, etc. What is this like this? After a day or two, my mind was getting boggled from this thing. And suddenly I started remembering, anyhow, I'm not the body and mind. This body is suffering, the body has got its prarabdha, it is suffering. Why to bother? Why too much bother? Let the body suffer, let the mind suffer, but I am the self. And luckily, I had bhatted Bhagavad Gita, so I was able to remember Bhagavad Gita shloka, Sthita Prajna Lakshana, our second chapter, our first chapter. So keep on mentally, because I'm not able to read for a long time. So closing my eyes, lying down, sometimes I may used to go to sleep also. So I used to remember Gita shlokas and trying to recall the meaning. That gave a tremendous happiness for me. That gave a tremendous strength for me. So whenever we get problems, whenever our mind gets agitated, whenever we get emotively disturbed, all these things, then that's the time we can put into practice all these things. When I am the self, when I'm not the body and mind, then why I'm getting boggled? Oh mind, why are you getting agitated? Yes, the world is got its own ways, and either prarabdha or luck or bad luck or good luck, whatever it may be, it is coming and it is going. Agama apayina anityaha tan titikshasva. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Matra sparshasta kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha. When the senses come into contact with sense objects, shita, ushna, sukha, dukkha, daha. Daha means etc. You know that. So I didn't need to tell in English. So these are things, it comes, agama, apayinaha. It goes. And anitya, they are not eternal. Tam, therefore, titikshasva bharata. Oh Arjuna, please forbear. Sa, sha, sha, sa. That's what even Thakur has said. So forbear. Then why do you get disturbed? See, one is I am forbearing because of helplessness. I don't have any other way. So any other go, I'm forbearing. That's one thing. That's one type of forbearing. Because of helplessness, we forbear. The other is I am the self. Or I am Thakur's son. I am mother's son. Nothing will happen. They will take care of me. As a being a devotee, depending on Thakur or mother or Swamiji, facing these things. From the Advaita point of view, I am the self. I am not the body and mind. All these problems comes to my body and mind. So let it come and let it go. Let the body and mind handle. I am the self. Let me be happy. So slowly, you can start practicing that witness. So even see, at that point of time, you may not be able to put into practice completely. But this idea, if you can remember, that itself can give you a lot of emotional support. You'll be able to tackle the problem. And as much as possible, for example, you are working, you are cooking, all your whatever actions you are doing it. If you can practice that, okay, like see, there is someone called body. The body which has been named as Chandrani. Chandrani's body and organs are working and she is cooking, and I am witnessing that. So taking the role of witness, you can witness your own self. Okay, your hands are moving, your hands are cutting, dressing vegetables. Initially, it can be a bit hypothetical. It can be, what do you say, what I can say, it can be, looks like very artificial, but it will become a habit. And okay, some thoughts are going, oh, Rasgulla is coming, Rasgulla, I want to eat today. Okay, I want to eat Rasgulla. You can take a role of witness. Okay, in Chandrani's mind, that there is a desire, there is a desire called thought. The thought is of eating Rasgulla. Now you are taken the role of witness and you are observing the thought which is crossing over your mind. Initially it becomes difficult, initially it can become superficial or whatever, or it becomes maybe once in a while, once in a blue moon day you may do it, but slowly by practicing, the whole day you can start feeling that I am the self, and this body mind is doing activities. I am sleeping, okay, body and mind is sleeping, I am that eternal consciousness, witness. So take the role of witness and keep on observing everything. So like that in the installments, and as much as possible we should keep on trying to practice. Either Thakurer Chele or Ami Atma, Atto. So either of or both. Not simultaneously, in between you can switch over to whichever you feel. Amra Mayer Chele, এটা ঠিক আছে একটা, নাহলে আমি আত্ম বলে এটাই করতে পারি, দুটোই করতে পারেন, একটাই করতে পারেন, কোনো অসুবিধা। যেভাবে আমরা ঠাকুরের কাছে যেতে হবে, না হলে যেভাবে আমরা আমি কে বলে বুঝতে হবে, বাস।
But that is the thing that
it's a difficult Maharaj.
Means if I both are actually conscious practice, whether Thakurer Chele continuous remembering I am Thakurer to me, or I am the Sakshi. So now if both are conscious, means first of all this I have to think myself as the Sakshi, that thought must come first. So, that is difficult because we are entangled in already in this world, worldly thoughts. So, in that small amount of time, whether to think about this Sakshi thing or that Thakur means.
Yeah, both are okay. Anything, whichever you like, whichever is possible for you, you do either of, no problem. I will put you one more question for all of, for all of you. Say tomorrow, there will be an announcement or whatever, like there is some project. If you can do in your field, then you will get a promotion. There was some advertisement. Now you are hectic with your responsibilities and you are entangled with so many things. So you have got 1 week time and you have to do a project or a dissertation or whatever, and you have to put it, and if it becomes successful, then you will get a promotion. So do you do, or do you say, oh, I am busy with so many things, maybe not?
No, but if I
No, just you say yes or no.
no,
Just you say yes or no.
that is if I do this for the promotion thing, means I take up that activity, then my daily activity is hampered.
No, that is all fine. I am telling you, whatever you said, yes, Swamiji, whatever you say, I Atto or Thakur Chile, Tika Chevintu, Ashubida Hoche, I have been entangled in the world and worldly things and all you were saying, that's fine. So that's where it is difficult, you were saying. That's also understandable, accepted. It is a universal problem. Now my question is, there is a project. By doing that, you will get a promotion. How are you going? Are you going to do or not?
Definitely.
Yes. Definitely. Now you are already entangled in the world and you have got a lot of responsibilities. You don't have a time, much time. Then how did you, from where are you getting a time to do this project then?
That is the thing, that my other works are stopped now. Then I will stop cooking and I will stop everything, the daily work.
So that means that promotion became important for you. So when Thakur becomes important for you or for me or for any one of us, when the spiritual self-realization or God realization becomes important for us, then everything will fall at place. That is what Sri Ramakrishna says, that what do you say, yearning for God, Vakulata. Sri Ramakrishna did his duty, like as a priest duty, he did it. But in spite of that, he did prayer. Like there are so many people, householders, for example, Santa Tukaram, you can say, Mirabha, you can say, and there are so many people, for example, Janaka Maharaja, you can say. All of them were householders. Master Mahashay, for example, he was a householder. He had a lot of responsibilities. He did, and he had a time to do Atma Chintan or Bhagavad Chintan. Why? Because the intensity, our desire, our yearning for God. So once we get that, automatically everything will fall at place. But having said, this is difficult, yes, no doubt, but possible. Difficult, but possible.
No, means if I am getting some time, so then shall I do my japam, means some additional japam, or shall I practice this witness thing or this? So
Anything is fine.
no, means sometimes I have this dilemma that whether I should means maybe I like hearing these talks, and probably that repeated hearing is somewhat monon type thing, okay, because already I have heard. So if I am again hearing it, that means I am thinking about it, okay. So sometimes, but then I sometimes this occurs that instead of hearing it again, should I have done that japam, an additional round?
That's what. Both are okay. Now, if you feel that I would like to do japam, or my mind is liking japam now, probably that is better or that is more suitable to me. If you feel, if you are any seeker, spiritual seeker feel, yes, you can do japa or meditation. Yeah, I have taken initiation and Guru has given instructions to do this, and that much basic thing we have to do. Whether we are interested or not, there is no option there, choice. We have done that. but I think I'm bit, intellectual side, probably Atma Chintan or the self inquiry is better for me, or I like that. If you feel that, so then you do that. Either you do japa or meditation or bhajan or what you say, Atma Chintan, Atma Vichar. Anything is fine. Whichever you like it, do it sincerely. That's all. There is no problem. If you do prayer, japa, meditation is also fine. If you do Atma Chintan is also fine. So there are two paths to reach the God, to reach the ultimate truth. That's all. But the thing is that we have to do it. That's all, as much as possible. And one more thing, we can understand ourselves. We have to think ourselves and question ourselves. Okay, now all of us, we have got responsibilities. All of us, we have got our own works. All of us, we have got our own things to be completed, whether we like it or not, because of the domestic responsibilities and professional responsibilities. But having completed all these things, how much can we get time in our day-to-day things? More or less. I mean, there can be extreme things, that's a different issue. But more or less, say 1 hour. Someone may feel 1 hour, someone may feel 2 hours, someone may feel 3 hours, someone may say 4 hours. So whatever I am getting, am I using completely to the spiritual practice? This question we should question ourselves. Okay, I'm getting 2 hours, I'm using it 2 hours completely or to the larger extent possible for Thakur or for Atma Chinta. And more than this, I don't think I get anything else. When you say yes, when your Antaratma, when your conscience says yes, then we will not have this question at all. Knowingly, unknowingly, consciously, unconsciously, our mind will be knowing and we will be knowing that we could have done things better, we could have done things better. Because of laziness, because of unconscious living, because of the lethargy, or because of whatever you can give the reasons, we have not done completely. We have not tested our farthest limit. Okay, this is my limit. When you touch your limit, this problem will not be there. Automatically, Sharanagati will come. That's what happened with Girish, you see. Sri Ramakrishna said, morning and evening once you remember. He told it is not possible for me. So he knew that is not possible for him. He had know his limitation. Now, if they ask me, if Thakur had asked me or you, we would have said, easily we will do it. But we may say, oh, if Thakur asks, probably I will say. But heart of heart, I know that I can do that much. Morning and evening I can do. And at least then Thakur said, at least you remember any time once. But Giri said, no, that is also not possible. So because he knew his limitation. So once you know your limitations, once you have touched your farthest limit, automatically your mind gets surrendered at the feet of Lord. When we get difficulties, when we get bangings, we do it. But other times we try it, we are not able to. Why? Because our mind knows that we can do things better. Either meditation you do, japa you say, bhajans you say, atma vichar you say, satsang you say, whatever you say. We can do it much more. We know that, but we are not doing it. That's why that real Sharanagati doesn't come. That's why we are not happy with ourselves. And mind also cheats, and we also, oh, Swamiji, we are householders, we have got responsibilities, we have got that work, we have got this work, or whatever we say, and we keep on giving the blame excuses. But we ourselves think seriously. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm just saying that we shall sit ourselves and just self-examine analysis. If you do, our mind will tell that we could have done things better. We have got so much time, maybe 15 minutes, maybe half an hour, maybe 1 hour, maybe 2 hours. Is there extra even now? If we use our time and routine intelligently, we can spend so much time for our spiritual practice. Our mind will say that. That's why these problems we have got, that we have to understand and we have to touch the farthest limit. After this, I can't do anything else. Yeah. Then no repentance will be there, no problems will be there. Then I will say, Thakur, এটাই এত করা হলো আমাকে, এটাই আমি করতে পারি, আমি করেছি বাবা, আপনি যা করবেন করবেন। বাস আমরা আমার মনে তা আছে, আমি আরেকটু ভালো করতে পারি বলে সেই জন্য এটা অসুবিধা হচ্ছে আমাদের মনে, সেই জন্য এটা ব্যাটল হচ্ছে। আমি অনেক করতে পারতাম কিন্তু করিনি, অনেক কারণ, বিভিন্ন কারণ থাকতে পারে। That's why I always say we are consciously we are living unconscious living. We are consciously living unconscious living actually, which is a paradox actually. Yeah.
Okay, Maharaj, thank you. So next day, third week is actually Ram Navami. 17th.
Yeah, Ramnavami may not be, no, because everyone will have some functions to attend or whatever.
Okay.
Then fourth week I am not free. So if you want, next week we can do it off, or otherwise in May.
I think we can do on next week. Anyway, Ramnavami day we will be having, because that is our Jiggashu first anniversary. So we will be meeting. So so next week then we can have your class next week.
So what do you want to have on Ramnavami?
Ramnavami means we are planning many things. I don't know how far we can do. So we thought if you are taking lecture, then accordingly we have to plan. Otherwise we will have some bhajans and some this.
Okay then, if you are having a class, then I thought Ramnavami, because you will be all busy, I thought. Then if you know you are available, means yes, then we can have a class.
No, if you are free, then we can have it on that day.
As of now, I don't have anything. I mean, as such, I don't have any, what do you say, commitments. Yeah, for Ramnavami.
Then better we can have it on Ramnavami day. So it is a special day. So we will have you amongst us.
You can have a discussion. There's a beautiful conversation between Bharata and Rama. When I mean, I think it was in Dandakaranya, no? I think in Dandakaranya or Panchavati, or no, before that, not even Panchavati, I think Dandakaranya. When Rama was Dandakaranya, when Bharata and whole family people and all they come, Bharata tries to plead Rama to come back. Rama says no. And the Bharata gives a lot of his own, what do you say, arguments. His own logics he gives, and Rama puts down all the logic. Such a high dharma sukshma, we can say, high sense of dharma, that ethics and morality and the duties, all these things. Very nice, interesting. At least I liked it very much. I don't know, others may like it or not liking. That's fine. So if you want, we can discuss that on that day.
That will be excellent, Maharaj. I think
Yes,
everybody,
Maharaj.
everybody will be agreeing. And that special day, Ramnavami day, we can discuss about Rama, Sri Rama. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll have on Wednesday then, same timing.
Yes, 3:30. Pranam.
Jignasu. Yeah. Okay. I have noted also. Yeah. Okay, then I don't think any questions you have got. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Pranam,
Pranam, Pranam,
Pranam
I think
Maharaj.
Nilanjana was asking something. Nilanjana was
Maharaj.
something difficult.
Nilanjana was
shall I ask it now, Maharaj? Yeah, it's a question on Chitta Shuddhi, Maharaj. So doing more japa gives us more Chitta Shuddhi. Does it mean we are more eligible for this Atma Chintan or Sharanagati?
Yeah, see, japa will give a positive strength for us, and also it helps us to, to get rid of our bad samskaras. But having said this, so one side you are doing japa, and other side if you are accumulating the bad samskaras, then the effect of japa on one's personality will be less. So one is directly proportional, the other is inversely proportional. So you are doing more japa. Okay, that will help for your spiritual progress. Say for an example, every day you are spending 2 to 3 or 4 hours japa, that has got its own effect, positive effect on your spiritual life. Then rest of the time, what are you doing? How are you spending your time? That also matters. You are spending constructively, or is wasting your time, or thinking bad things, or whatever. That also matters. That's where our spiritual progress gets hampered. That's why Yadishwanji Maharaj says, if you want to do half an hour meditation, of course, I know that it is not that practical, I mean, not possible for all of us. If you want to do half an hour meditation, you have to prepare your mind for 23 and a half hours, he says. So, you do more and more japa, yes, you'll get more and more chitta shuddhi, you'll be, what do you say? Actually, by japa, you say chitta ekagrata, and by karma yoga, chitta shuddhi, from traditional classical Vedanta, they say. But anyhow, by doing japa more and more, definitely will be fit person to study Vedanta and understand and practice, no doubt. But by doing japa alone is not enough. Then samadama or yama niyama, we say, atma nigraha, mano nigraha is also important. Both should go hand in hand. Then the progress will be quickened. That's what we mean. Did you get me?
Yes, Maharaj.
But Maharaj,
Like only
sometimes
you
we
said, Maharaj, that about the vrittis you said, and from the vrittis should be one track. Then only we will be able to do japa in better way.
Better. And other time, it is not that every time you have to think God alone, then only it will happen. No. As much as possible, you have to do it. Otherwise, when you're doing your work and all fine, but how are you spending your time in other times is also like 2-3 hours we do japa and 6 hours sleep and 6 to 8 hours we do work, and while working we thought all other nasty things, and some other time left out time probably I'll be seeing TV or I'll be seeing the social media and I'm spoiling my mind. One side I'm trying to clean my mind, other side I'm trying to fill my mind with dirty things. But still there will be some progression spiritually, no doubt, but then the progress will be slower, I means to say.
But Maharaj,
That's
we
why
are
my Guru
tempted
there is no
sometimes.
highlight to spiritual life.
Maharaj, sometimes we are tempted to watch TV or cinema or something like that. So, or if we are learning something, so sometimes we are that is again a thing that whether that is waste of time or doing. If I am learning some new language or something, so whether it is okay or not, akarma
See,
or karma.
no, no. See, it all depends on your intention. Intentions. Why do we need it? Why are you doing it? What was? Is there any necessary? All these things. Now, watching TV is necessary. You are watching a TV with some documentary or some hearing some news, some general knowledge for that matter, and you are watching a movie just just for recreational purpose. Okay, that's also required for our life, no doubt. But how much? That one should question, one should understand oneself. How much we are serious about our spiritual life. That doesn't mean that we should not see a movie at all. No, once in a while, fine, but it should not be too much. If, for example, there is some good movie which brings a good positive effect on our mind, if say, then watching movie is okay. So, in what sense you are watching movie, for what reason you are watching movie or anything, that also matters. No, I mean to say, all these things will add to our spiritual life for progression or for holding back. So whether you should do this or you should not do this, I'm not giving any strict measures, but only I'm saying that you should yourself think. None of us, we are all small children. We should think ourselves by any act, whether it's contributing to my spiritual life or not. Then accordingly, you should decide. Isn't it? No, Swamiji, that's all fine, but maybe by watching movie is not conducive or profitable to spiritual life, maybe, but because family is there, I have to do that, and maybe, yeah, once in a while I like it. Yes, understand that limitations and do it. No, never mind. But accept it. But let us be sincere. Yeah, once in a while seeing movie, I like it, I need it. I need it. I like it. Okay, do it. We should not give any blame excuses. Oh, that's okay. Thakur is there everywhere. Even in movies, there. So seeing the thing, there are some people who makes all such nonsense and nonsense philosophy. That's what I'm telling. So we learn. Okay, I have got interest. I've got a liking towards watching a movie. You are watching movie, fine. That's okay. No problem. It's a human tendency. That's fine. So, but we should be clear about it. Why I am doing it, isn't it? That's what. So that sincerity will help us to come up in our life. If not today, tomorrow it will help us to come out from this problem, from out the mental weakness. Yeah. Yeah. Namaste to all of you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Pranam Maharaj.